Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. I'm really excited. I got another financial guru here on the RNG radio show to break down what financial literacy means in specifics as far as how you can get started. You know, us, as we're getting older, you know, we weren't taught the values and systems and how money works. So I got one of the gurus here on the RNG radio show right here, right now, the one and only Jasmine Drummond. Jasmine, how are you doing today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and you guys are going to walk away knowing a lot more about money and how it works. So I'm so excited.
Awesome, awesome. So before we get started, I definitely want to share your bio with folks. So ladies and gentlemen, get out some pen, paper, or if you are listening right now onto Spotify or YouTube, be sure to hit rewind so you can catch this information. So ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Drummond, a money coach and junior financial broker. She helps families earn more income, get properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. She's been in the business since September 2018. She is now licensed in 9 states and counting. And she also has 2 investment licenses for Series 6 and 63. She is passionate about teaching financial literacy and the rules about money that we all need to know to never outlive our money and protect what's most important. She likes to put it like this: if you don't know the rules about money, you're already losing. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Jasmine Drummond, the money coach. So Jasmine, I want folks to understand this because I'm not going to be the one sharing the screen. So if you are listening on Spotify, Google Podcasts, just stop. Just stop right now and set up a time to get on YouTube so you can actually get these facts and information down. So before we get started, Jasmine, of course, I shared my screen, or excuse me, I gave you the host control. So you are in the driver's seat. I'm pretty much sitting back. So right now, y'all folks should be seeing a funky, weird design. Now you're seeing the one and only Jasmine Drummond, pop locking it and all that jazz. No, she's not pop locking it, y'all. But
this is not that big, not that.
But definitely we got Jasmine Drummond on the screen right here, right now. So before we get started into your presentation, Jasmine, I do want to ask you a question. What is the first thing people should look at when they are thinking of their finances?
That is an excellent question, and I'm definitely going to answer that. But first, let me just start by giving a little bit more backstory of how I even got into this business, how I came to be here, because I think that's important. And if you're working with a financial advisor, you want to know their story. You want to know that they're a real person and their intentions, right? So I'll tell you, when I first got started with this business, I'll let everybody on here know I was no expert. I was actually really bad when it came to money. I like to say that I knew how to make money and how to spend money, and that's it. I didn't know anything else, right? So everything that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, I learned from being around the right people. That is so important, to have the right circle around you, the right team around you. So that picture that you're seeing on the left-hand side is very early in my career. I've been doing this for 5 years now. When I first got started, I was like a deer in headlights. I didn't know anything that was going on, but now it's 5 years later. That's a picture of me on the right-hand side. I did a nice little photo shoot earlier this year, and I'm the money coach. Now I have lots of clients I'm helping. As Daniel said, I'm licensed in 9 different states. I'm going to be sharing that later. So I'm very excited about what I'm doing. So thank you so much for having me again. And I don't take it lightly. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let me get into it. You asked me, what is the first thing that people should be looking at when it comes to their finances? And the answer to that is their financial house. So everybody has a financial house, whether you know it or not. And if you don't know it, then your financial house is likely in order. It's not looking too good, right? So basically what we're looking at here is what each person needs to be focusing on, right? Each one of these levels are typically areas people are thinking about when it comes to money, but oftentimes these are pointing all different directions. You're going a million different places, no strategy, no plan, where it's all coming together. And here, that's what we do for our clients. We're looking at each level of the house here and how we can address that. And let me tell you guys the honest truth. It's hard to find a financial professional who can help you in all of these areas. Usually you're going to one to help you get out of debt, maybe one to get you the right protection in place, one to help you invest, but it's hard to find one who you can do it all in one place. But here we're able to do that. So if you're looking at this and realizing, oh shoot, I don't have level 2 or level 6 or level 5, that means you need to be sitting with a licensed professional who can help you address each level of this house. So we focus on building, we focus on protecting while building, because here's another thing. The curse, especially in the Black community, but the curse in the Black community is that every generation has to start from ground zero. If you have a strong financial foundation, your family is not having to start from ground zero. They're building upon what you have already built. So some people might not make it to level 7 where you're seeing goals and dreams in their lifetime, but it's important to have a strong foundation so that it doesn't come crumbling down when you're no longer here. Make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I love
absolutely.
this. I love this breakdown. So I know folks who are listening on Google Podcasts and Spotify still, but if you're watching on YouTube, great. You really should see this model because it gives you, the steps, getting to and the real. Hey, we're all not meant to. It's death and taxes. None we could get around. So that number 7 might not make it, but what you can be doing is creating that generational wealth so that way your kids, your grandkids, your great-great-grandkids, if you're so blessed enough to see, achieve those dreams. So it definitely starts now, and it definitely starts by contacting Jasmine Drummond.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And for anyone listening and who's not watching the visual, just so you can have an idea of what we're looking at here, we're looking at the financial house, and I'll just read through these levels really quick. The first level is income protection. You have to have protection on your money, or else if the money's no longer here, this house disappears. 2 is emergency account. If every time you have an emergency, your savings are being wiped out, there's never any room to build, right? We have to have emergency savings, that cushion in between. Then we get to other forms of protection. I love protecting my clients' money, but also protecting them legally, protecting their identity, protecting their home and auto. I protect on several different fronts. Then we get to budgeting. I think when people think of budgeting, they probably think of money the most, right? Budgeting a little bit of money I have, or maybe the lot of money I have, but whoever it is, you have to budget your money. Then we're getting to debt, making sure we're eliminating debt, not just managing debt, but eliminating debt. Then we talk about education and retirement. Those are those savings accounts that you're not going to be benefiting from in the present future, but we need to start saving for it right now. And then we have 7 goals and dreams, which we just talked about. So I just wanted to lay that out for anyone who might be listening. All 7 of those layers are things that a money coach like myself can help you with, or that you should be working with a financial professional to help you with.
I love that. I love that. And, we throw out the term money coach, in the beginning. I definitely have the understanding of it. Jasmine, you have the understanding as well. But why, can you explain why people need a financial coach? Why do they need a money coach in their lives?
That is a great question, and I appreciate you asking me that. Honestly, because I think we can look at any financial news today, or just news today, or even check your bank account and see, or what the minimum wage is across America today, and see how it's not matching with cost of living. Today, people are struggling when it comes to money. So just to look at some of these statistics right here, 64% of workers report living paycheck to paycheck. I know because I've been there, okay? And we say, look down on no man but to pick him up. But if we don't get out of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, we're in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, you're just thinking about keeping the lights on, keeping the bills paid, keeping the food in the fridge, keeping the clothes on your baby's back. You're not thinking about saving or investing, which is why 42% of Americans have gone deeper in debt throughout the pandemic. And also, almost 4 out of 10 Americans say that they have difficulty of finding just $1,000 for an emergency. Not to mention 25% of Americans have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. So you're living paycheck to paycheck. We have no savings. We're going further into debt. As a matter of fact, the average American has over 90,000 in consumer debt, and that's including things like your credit cards, your personal loans, student loans, mortgage loans, right? So not only is this person living paycheck to paycheck, they don't have any savings, they have a lot of debt. So if God forbid they pass away, they could be putting their family in a very dire position. And what's making it worse is that nearly half, 48% of Americans have no life insurance coverage at all.
Wow.
So what does that mean? If God forbid, let's say example family, John and Mary, they have some kids, they have some debt, they're a typical family. If God forbid John does not come home one night, Mary still has the same amount of bills. Mary still has the same kids she has to feed. Mary still has to keep the lights on in the house. What does Mary need? A check coming in to replace John's income. So as you can see, all of this really goes hand in hand. It's hard to work on one strategy without working on the other. So why do we need a financial coach? Because if you're just trying to do this on your own, your head's probably spinning from these few statistics that I just gave you. So you definitely need somebody who has a qualified opinion. That's another very important thing. Don't go asking your broke cousin for financial advice or go to TikTok for financial advice. No, you need to work with a licensed professional who can sit down with you, get to know your situation, because maybe you don't fit in any of these statistics, but you still need to have a plan for your money.
Yeah, and I want to hence that and focus on that, folks. It's about having the conversation. You know, Jasmine's not saying that, hey, once I do speak with you, you need to sign up. Once I do have this conversation with you, if anything, she's trying to curve that number about the 48%. So even if it's not with her, find somewhere you can get life insurance coverage. You know, we're just trying to get this financial literacy out, because I know I wasn't taught about this when I was younger. It wasn't until I got to my 30s that I'm like, oh, and even for life insurance, I didn't know more about it until I had my son, where I'm like, oh, now I see the importance behind it. But this is a very scary number. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at this right now or even listening, please know these statistics, it's a fun word, are all between 2021 and 2022. We're in 2022 right now. So this isn't something from 98 that we're pulling up a past report. These are all things recently within the past couple of years. So thank you. Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing that.
Yes.
And you say, you know, you talk about a strong focus on protecting and investing. Why is that? You know, why is that focus needing to be there?
That's a really great question. And really, it's about the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of finances. I think a lot of times people hear things and they get really excited and they're in kindergarten, but they're trying to go to a college level course. And sometimes people need to just start with the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, right? As we looked at the financial house, you need to have the first 2 levels, which is income protection and emergency savings. That's making sure you have the right protection in place when you need it, and also making sure you have the money there for when you also need it, right? And really, that's how life works. So what we're seeing on the screen here is called the theory of decreasing responsibility. And basically what the theory of decreasing responsibility explains is that in the younger years, and Daniel, you just kind of alluded to this, when you just had your son, maybe you had a little bit of debt, maybe you had a house mortgage. What does this mean? The loss of income would be devastating. Why? Yeah. Because your financial responsibilities are up here. If you're looking at the screen, it's up at the top, right? But your income, because you're young, maybe just started into your career, maybe you just started saving and investing, so your money is down here. What does that mean? We need the coverage for this gap in between. If anything should happen to you, we need to know that we have coverage in place to replace the income that we have lost, right? However, this is not a forever thing. Eventually, your children grow up, they move out the house, your debt should be paid down / paid off, your mortgage should be paid off. Once you get to retirement age, thinking the other side of the hill, so to speak, what you need to make sure is there is your money, right? We don't want to be 60, 70, 80 years old, talk about, oh, we ran out of money, we got to go back and get another job. And that's a real reality today. I want everybody who's listening to this, think of somebody at your job who you think, oh, wow, they should have retired by now, or maybe they're 60, 70 years old. And, you know, there's definitely people out there who are passionate about what they do and they love what they do and they want to work and because it's their passion. And I say this, there's a big difference between working because you have to and working because you want to. There's a lot of people who is in the category of working because they have to. Why? Because they did not save and invest their money when they were over here, because investing is a time and game. So we watch the money grow over the years, right? So that at retirement, the money will be there. And here's the really neat thing. If your children are going out the house, your debt's paid down, your mortgage is paid off, you have some assets and money saved, why do you still need life insurance? You don't, because really the point of having life insurance is to replace your income. There's a lot of companies out here that want to take your money for your entire life. They actually have policies called whole life policies. And their goal is to keep taking your money and overcharging you for your entire life. We're going to talk more about that. But basically, life insurance is only meant for a period of time, which is why we do term. It's meant for a term of time. The time when you have a lot of responsibilities, but your money is down. However, you invest and grow your money over time so that when you get over here, you have money, but your need for coverage is lower. We are actually the only life insurance company that's teaching people how to no longer need life insurance later in life. Other companies want to keep taking your money forever. We're teaching, empowering people with the right information they need to become financially independent. And that's truly what financial independence is, where your assets, your income, your investments are up here. Your responsibilities can be taken care of with those assets. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I wanted to emphasize about the loss of income would be devastating. It is devastating, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing layoffs. We are in a recession, whether people believe it or not. So if you do have a job, first and foremost, be thankful, but also come to the realization, what happens if I do lose this job tomorrow? How will my mortgage get paid? How will my children eat? How will I eat? How will I make sure, like, we're in the school year now, and if these teachers ask me for one more item that I asked them for, because now all of a sudden they need a $20 scientific calculator that I didn't know about until 2 weeks into the class. But long story short, these things are going to come up. So the loss of income is devastating and sad to think about it. But ladies and gentlemen, you need to be thinking about these things now as if they could happen right now, not to scare you, but just to prepare you. That's all. Now, we talked about the life insurance, and I do understand, like, the difference between whole and life, versus term. But what type of life insurance, would you recommend for clients, and why?
That is a great question. So I actually only market term, and I say to each his own, but I have a very specific reason why I only market term, and I'm going to break it down for you guys as quickly as I can, right? So what we're looking at right here on the screen is a before and after scenario of a typical family, let's say a John and Mary. Okay, we sit down with John and Mary, we find out that they have a whole life policy. That's the type of policy where you have insurance and investments bundled together. They're selling you a 2-for-1 deal. And what the agent who sold John and Mary this policy probably told them was, hey, John and Mary, guess what? You can have the protection if, God forbid, either one of you should die. But you can also have the investments for, let's say you want to borrow for a down payment on your home, or you want to send your kid to college, or you want to take a family vacation. You can borrow money from this investment. That's what they tell you, right? Or you can retire off of this money. That's what they tell you. But this is what they don't tell you. You cannot, and I want you guys to listen to me closely. When it comes to whole life, any policy that's offering you a cash value, you cannot benefit from both at the same time. You can either die and your family will receive the death benefit from the life insurance, and the company will pocket the money that you have been saving and investing in this alleged cash value account, or you can borrow from the cash value account. What they don't tell you is you have to take it out as a loan. A loan is your own money, but you got to loan your own money to yourself. So tell me if that makes sense to anybody else. And then
I borrow money from myself all the time.
Well, let me tell you something. You shouldn't put it in the hands of a company to borrow money.
It's just me and Daniel. Me and Daniel. Sometimes I'm mad at Daniel for taking money out that he shouldn't have. But yeah, the third party.
And that's understandable. And that's a conversation between you and you, right? But it shouldn't be a conversation between you and a company. Exactly. Because in the end of the day, the company is going to make sure that they have the most money in their pocket and the least in your pocket. So it should be you. And just as to you said, like, to note to what you said, if you had an emergency, you loan money to yourself, meaning that you have the money set aside. Well, we'll say this, you should have the money set aside in an assets and investment accounts, so that if something comes up, if an emergency happens, you're able to pull money from that account that is yours free and clear, not borrow from it because it is a loan. That's what they don't tell you about these cash value policies. So let's say we're looking at John and Mary's policy over here, right? They have 100,000 in coverage. They have a cash value policy, and inside the cash value, there's $76,000 at age 65 for them. So John and Mary might look at that and say, hey, all right, $76,000 for retirement, cool, that's nice. But what they don't tell you is if John and Mary were to take, let's say, 50,000 out of this, and John and Mary were to pass away before they paid back that $50,000 loan that they took out, they are now receiving $50,000 in their death benefit because the company going to get back their money one way or the other.
Right.
So most people don't know that. So, right, and here's the other thing. This money that they're paying $225 a month. One thing to know about term is that it's typically 30 to 70 times cheaper than cash value. Why is that? Because they're overcharging you for something that is garbage, basically. They're charging you a lot of money for something that you can get more than double the amount of coverage if you were to get something without the bells and whistles. It's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig. They're trying to sell you a whole bunch of stuff that sounds good when really you need to just do what we do. So let me tell you what we do. We sat down with John and Mary. We saw them in this situation, right? We were able to get them more than double the amount of coverage. They had 100,000, now they have 250,000. We were able to save them money on that coverage, $80 a month versus before they were paying $225 a month. So we said, whoo, we saved you some money, that's great. But guess what? We didn't stop there. We said that you had an investment, allegedly, with this cash value, so let's make an investment here too. But instead of putting them together, we keep them separate. They're going simultaneously, but it's just two separate places. You should get your investments from an investment company, your insurance from an insurance company. Just like you wouldn't go to an auto parts store searching for some socks and underwear, it doesn't make sense. You should not go to an insurance company asking for an investment. You would never overpay your auto insurance and say, hey, can you hold on this extra $50 a month for me for when I retire? You wouldn't say that. So why are you doing it with your life insurance company? It doesn't make sense. Your life insurance is only meant for your beneficiaries when you're no longer here. That's definitely a point I want to get across, right? So we helped John and Mary. We got them more than double the amount of coverage. We saved them $145 a month. So we said, hey, John and Mary, why don't you invest that? Add it on to what they were already investing. They were already investing $105 a month in a Roth IRA. I'm sorry, in a traditional IRA at their bank. You can see it's traditional because look at that. Look at this rate. It's getting 1.5%, which I would say is better than the bank. The bank is giving you 0.0 something percent. So that's better than the bank, but they could be doing better. Let's look at how much better. We rolled over their $20,000 into an IRA with mutual funds. Now they're contributing $250 a month, the 145 we found, and the 105 they were already contributing at 6%. 6%, which I would say is pretty modest, a balanced fund. We're not talking about aggressive. For people who say, oh, I'm scared of investing, 6% would be maybe a balanced middle of the road person, right? At age 65, this person has $372,000 saved up for retirement. At 9%, this person has over $750,000 saved up, ready for retirement.
Wow.
If I showed this to 10 of your friends, 10 people you know, how many of them are choosing B?
All
Should
10.
be all 10.
All 10.
Right?
And if they're not, I guess they're not my friends anymore.
Right. And the problem isn't that people don't want this. The problem is that people don't know. Most people have a policy and they have no idea what's in it. They just had someone come to them and say, hey, 100,000 sounds good. You want it? And they're like, yeah. But John and Mary have no idea if 100,000 is enough for them. They have no idea if it will cover their bills. If God forbid John is no longer here, they have no idea if it will last them through to raise their children, through retirement, pay off their home. They have no idea.
That's
just 100,000 sounds good, right? So,
yeah.
So this is why we market term. Term is for a period of time. It's 30 to 70 times cheaper. We do the investments at the same time. And I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but here's one other thing I want to say about term. A lot of people will have to hang up and say, but term is only for a period of time. What happens after those 20 years or 30 years or 35 years? What if I didn't die? right? That's what most people will say, why they don't like term. Because what if I didn't die? Then I wasted all that money. Here's my answer to that. That's why we also invest at the same time. Our ultimate goal is that after those 20 years, your money will have grown to the point where you no longer need a life insurance policy because you have more than 100,000 in your investments. So that if you die, your family doesn't need a life insurance policy. They can live off of your investments, your assets.
Wow.
But even if we don't make it there, our policies guarantee you to age 95.
Well, that's a no-brainer. Now,
Right, it's a no-brainer. But some people get really lost in the sauce with the meaning of life insurance. They listen to these TikToks, they listen to the trends, the things that tell them that it's supposed to be an investment, oh, retire tax-free money, throw a lot of money into an IUL, and then you can use it to go buy a LLC and all this stuff. That is not the meaning of life insurance. Life insurance is meant for your beneficiaries when you are no longer here. It is not meant to be an investment vehicle. I want to definitely get that point across to the viewers. Please do not invest with life insurance. The wealthy do not invest with life insurance. They have life insurance, but they do not invest with life insurance.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And now you talked about these other investments. Like, what type of other investments do you offer to your clients? Because I'm pretty sure people are looking at this or listening, and it's like, okay, where is this additional money going? And what investment vehicles are out there that Jasmine Drummond, the money coach, is offering?
Yes, great question, because I agree with you. I mean, sometimes investing can send your mind a million different directions, right? It could be crypto, Bitcoin, Forex, the trading, the this, the stocks, the that, right? It can go a million different directions. I'm gonna let you know, with my Series 6 and 63 license, I specialize in mutual funds. Warren Buffett, the big guys in finance, they invest in mutual funds. I'm telling you, like, mutual funds is the way to go, right? So basically, I also do, people are familiar with Roth IRAs, people are familiar with 401ks, people who are familiar with annuities. These are all forms of investing that I do. Basically, the point of mutual funds is to give you protection, because here's the thing, people will say, oh yeah, I'm investing, I have stocks, or I play around with Robinhood. And I think that's great, don't get me wrong. But again, it's trying to put a kindergartner in a college level course. You're throwing money in there and hoping that maybe it will be good. Or you're listening to some trends or some news and you heard that this stock is good and you're trying to get ahead of the curve, which is most people's strategy, right? With a mutual fund, let's say it's automation, which I think is a big key to a beginner investor. Set your investments on automation, meaning it's $50 a month, $100 a month, however much you want to set. The minimum I can start my clients out, $25 a month. I know you can find $25 a month somewhere in your budget to start investing, right? Start out, throw it into a mutual fund. Let me explain what a mutual fund is. Rather than one stock, think about this. Think about if somebody had their retirement fund in the stock of Blockbuster. Where is Blockbuster today? Gone. So where's their retirement? Gone, right? That's why stocks have a high level of risk. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. You're depending on this company to carry you through retirement. That's risky. To me, that sounds risky, right? I don't know about y'all, but that sounds risky to me. So what a mutual fund is, 50 to 100 different companies all grouped together. What I love about mutual funds is that you do not have to be the expert. They have a professional portfolio manager, somebody whose sole job it is to monitor the market, be an expert in all these companies. Let's say they had a fund with Blockbuster and they saw Blockbuster is going down, they replace it with something like Netflix, which they know is going up. So it's protected against, you can't protect yourself from all loss. So let me say that, okay? Investment has some inherent risk in it, but the name to the investing game is to reduce the amount of taxes that you have to pay and protect yourself from loss. That's the two things you got to focus on when you have investments. right? So when we're looking at it, the way we do that is by making sure we have the accounts that we need. You have to have an emergency account. As I explained earlier, if every time you have an emergency, and they're inevitable, right? If you're a homeowner, you're gonna have to have an emergency fund for your home needs, because it's gonna be something that's gonna go up with the house. It's gonna be something that's gonna go up with the car. If you got kids, your kids gonna have an emergency. Why not have the money set aside, right? Then we get to short-term savings, 3 to 5 years, something you want to do, a vacation, a dream house, a dream car, something, right? Put it in a space where it's not, don't leave it at the bank where it's doing more for the bank than it is for you. Put it in an investment account, at least let it get 3 to 5%. That's a very modest account. That could be very conservative, right? Then we talk about long-term savings. That's when we're talking about retirement. We're talking about education accounts for children, long-term, right? Think long-term. And then wealth building and inheritance. This is the least selfish account you will ever set up, because you will not benefit from it in your lifetime. It's set up for the generations after you. They say a blessed man blesses 3 generations down. The way you do that is by setting up these accounts. Most people's money don't even last just their lifetime.
Wow.
A lot of people run out of money in their own lifetime. So it's up to you to create these buckets for yourself, be diligent, set it to automation so that you're not having to worry about it or think about it every month. And that, again, is why you need a money coach, because I can help you set up all 4 of these accounts.
I love that. Now, I already know that there's going to be like the groans, the moans, and people are saying like, well, it's a bad time to invest, the stock market's going down, or, people are losing jobs, there's massive layoffs. Like, I already know what to say, and it's usually not in a professional manner, but Jasmine, you come on here with Black Excellence. So can you advise folks why it is actually a good time to invest, and why they actually need to get in contact with you in regards to it?
Yes, I love that question, because you can tell if somebody has financial literacy with what they're doing with their money during this time. Okay? Because this is the time, and I want everybody to listen to me very closely. This is the time where the next millionaires for the next decade will be made, during this time. And if you do not have the financial literacy, if you do not have somebody in your corner who's saying, just follow the plan, follow the strategy we laid out, you will be in the dust. You're going to be not one of the millionaires. Okay. There is a big exchange of wealth going on in the markets right now. People who have had family money for a long time, that money is being passed down right now. You got to be willing and open and ready to receive it, right? Because it's going to flow. Currency flows like electricity, right? Currency flows. Is it flowing to you or through you? Mm. Okay. So what we're looking at on the screen here is just a couple different demonstrations of what the market is doing right now. Okay. So first, I want to bring your attention to this chart over here. And I know these words are small, but basically what we are looking at is what the market return was based off of the headlines / world news that was going on. So if the point I want to get across here is that you should not be investing with the headlines. And also let me add in there TikTok trends. Okay. Do not invest with trends. We invest with our head, not the headlines. So if we looked at it, if you were in, let's say 2008, which is right here, 2008, right? If you were alive during 2008, I mean, I was alive, but I was still a kid. So I didn't really know much what was going on. But if you did know what's going on, it was a huge recession, right? I knew that. I knew it was a recession, right? So if you were somebody who was financially illiterate during that time, and I say that with a grain of salt because sometimes you don't know till you know, right? So look down on no man but to pick him up, and we can't beat ourselves up for past decisions. We can only learn from them and be better, right? So I want to say that to anybody who might have made mistakes during 2008, it's okay. You still have time to recover. But look at this. If you took all your money out in 2008, then you missed this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years of growth because you got scared of what the headlines were saying from 1 year. A bear market, which is when the market is going down, typically lasts only 14 to 16 months. So a little over a year. A bull market, where the market's going up, typically lasts for 5 to 9 years. So what does that mean? If you are able to put money in when the market is down, look at this. This is the end of a bear market. So again, bear market is when the market's going down, kind of like what we're experiencing right now, right? So it looks at 2001. I think this was after 9/11. This was the month of 9/11. Yes. This was the year after when we went into the Iraq war. This is the recession. This was coming out of the recession, and this is 2020. But what I want to bring your attention to is look at the 1-year return. What does that mean? That means if I had my money in a year after the market was doing what it was doing, this is what the returns were. Let me remind you, the bank is giving you 0.0 something percent. But in 2020, people who had their money invested came out earning 78%.
Wow.
That's crazy, right? That sounds crazy.
Yeah, banks is robbing y'all. Hope y'all listening.
I really hope you're listening, because the thing is, the money's out there. You just have to have the right knowledge and know the right people to talk to so you can have access. Okay. And this is the last thing I want to point out. Like I said earlier, when the market is down, the 2 things we need to be focusing on is hedging or protecting ourselves from taxes, right? And we need to make sure we're protecting ourselves from loss. So I want you to think of what the market is doing right now as a big blowout sale. Have y'all ever been to Target when it's a big old sale and you can, like, usually you take $50 to Target and maybe you got like 5, 8 things, but you go during a blowout sale and you walking out with bags, carts full of stuff, right? Yep. Or your favorite store, Walmart, Target, wherever, right? Think of a big blowout sale. Think of what the market is doing right now as a big blowout sale. You can get more bang for your buck. If I put $100 into a Roth IRA, it's buying more shares than it would if I were to put it in when the market's going up.
Yeah.
So you have to understand how this stuff works, or else if you just follow the headlines are meant to make poor people spend more money to stimulate the economy. Okay. If you think that it's a recession, you'll be like, oh my God, I gotta go buy toilet paper. I gotta go. That is a sign of financial illiterateness. I don't even know if that's a word. I might have just made it up. But what I'm saying is,
trademark, copyright.
We're going to trademark it right now. So we need to have a plan, right? And this one right here is just pointing out, if we had $10,000 invested for 30 years at 9% and a IRA versus a tax deferred savings account. Because a lot of people might say, well, I want to leave it in my 401k or something like that, right? What you don't realize is that what you're seeing in the account right now is not going to be what you see when you retire. Because Uncle Sam got to get his, okay? Whether he get it on the front end or the back end, Uncle Sam going to get his. Get it. So wouldn't you rather it on the front end so that what you're looking at in the account is actually what's going to be there when you retire, rather than a situation like this, where you retire thinking you got $1 million and then you retire and realize, oh my God, it's less than $750,000. And some people might say, oh, well, at least I still got 739,000, which is great. We're not going to sneeze at that. But look at the 250,000 plus, to a lot of money that you just missed out on, right? Why? Because you didn't pay attention to those taxes. So that's definitely something you have to consider. Putting your money in the right space is so important. So really, this is the type of investing we're talking about. This is the best time to invest. Again, think of what the market's doing right now as a blowout sale. You're getting more bang for your buck. This is the time to put your money into the market, but put it in the right places. Put it in a place where you know you're going to get this bounce back. Okay? So that's the type of investing. That is a good question. I appreciate you asking me that one.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Now, we talked about the life insurance. We talked about the investment vehicles, preparing the 4 accounts, such as the emergency funds. What other services do you provide, Jasmine?
Yes, so I do provide other services, which I love to highlight because, like I was saying earlier, you can end up going to many different places, many different companies for so many different services. And there are companies out there that will do the bundle service, like a State Farm, a Progressive, an Allstate. But I caution those people with this. When you have your services bundle, especially if it's been over 2 to 3 years, you sometimes lose out because you didn't do comparison shopping during that time. Even if you could have saved $50, $100 a month, it's important, even if you are satisfied with your service, to always comparison shop for a better price. Absolutely. Because if you can bring down, like I said, if you could save $50 a month on your car insurance, that's $50 a month that you can then turn around and invest, right? Wow. So let me get into it here. What other services do we offer? I already talked about the life insurance, and I already talked about the investments, which is on this side. So we're going to focus on these services right here. So Legal Shield is one people are pretty familiar with. Having legal protection is so important. I cannot impress this upon the group more. Like, it is so important to have legal protection, because whether you're an entrepreneur, a parent, somebody who's in real estate, it's so many reasons to have the right legal team and not wait until a legal situation arises to then get a lawyer, because it's a lot more expensive that way. ID theft defense, which is basically like protecting your sensitive information on the internet. A fun fact, the very old and the very young are the two groups most susceptible to having their identity stolen. So if you have young children, they're always on the phone, on the tablet, you know what I'm saying? Those apps, I know y'all parents know what I'm talking about. They bring you the tablet and they're like, can you download this app? I want to play this game, right? You don't know what's data they might be stealing from your child, and your child just want to play the game, right? So make sure you have the protection in place. These two services together are a bundle package from us, less than $40 a month. Protect you and your whole household. Why not, right? $40 a month. You probably waste that on DoorDash, Amazon, going out. Spend it on something that will protect your family. Vivint Home Security. I love Vivint. They have the doorbell cameras, indoor, outdoor cameras, smart thermostat. We don't just protect your money, we also protect your home, right? Answer Financial, I already talked about that. Basically, comparison shopping. I have clients every 6 months that will call to comparison shop for their home and auto. And if you have a bundle and you've been with your bundle for a long time, please call and comparison shop. And I would say call me, because if you try and do like an online search or just call like a 1-800 number, you're going to start getting all those spam calls, and nobody likes those. Hey, were you looking for insurance? Nobody wants that, right? So why not just come to me? I can comparison shop for you. And the best part about that is, what I love is, if you have the best price, if we can't beat your price, they'll let you know that. It's not a hard sale. They will tell you, hey, you have the best price, come back to us in another 6 months. We'll see if we can find you another one. Good. Simple. Easy Medicare, if you have any grandmas in your life, grandpas, people elderly who you care about. It's 10,000 people turn age 65 every day. Ooh. These people need healthcare. So we need to make sure we're not leaving our grandmas to not get all the benefits that they need. They have a lot of benefits now for the elderly, things like rides to and from appointments, the Meals on Wheels type of thing, discounts for your prescriptions, all those things that elderly usually are dealing with can help them. And then Rocket Mortgage is one of our newest partners. We're very excited about that. We're going to be partnering them to do loans. So you could get your loan refinanced. That's going to be really awesome. This is something new. We're still rolling out across the country. But these are some of the other services that we offer. And I really love that we're able to really be a one-stop shop with home delivery. Honestly, like, where can you go where you could get all of these things in one?
Love that. Love that. Thank you. And Jasmine, this was a lot of information, and I'm hoping folks definitely took notes. If folks have questions, which I'm pretty sure they do, how can people get in contact with you in regards to your services, or just have those general questions about life insurance and investments?
Yes, I would love if you guys could reach out to me, because exactly what Daniel just said, I am the money coach who will help you even just answer questions. Maybe you're in a position where your money's tight and you can't do anything right now. still give me a call, because that's even more reason to sit down with a professional who can really help you look at your money, what money is coming in, where is it going, and how can we spend it smarter? Because nothing changes if nothing changes, right? If you never reach out for help, you're just going to continue on the path that you're on. And I sit down with people every day, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, people who are singing the wish I woulda song, the shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? You don't want to be a shoulda, coulda, woulda. I've heard someone say this once. You don't want to be later in life shooting all over yourself, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Nobody wants that. Don't shoot all over yourself, okay? So you can do that by reaching out to me. This QR code right here is a direct link to my digital business card. The link is also right here. It's just basically linkapp.com/Jasmine_Drummond. You can also reach me at jcedrummond@gmail.com. This is my number, 443-900-9577. You can text me for a free gift. I'm not going to spoil what the gift is, but I'm going to just let you know that it is going to make you feel real good about your financial plan and your financial future. So you should text me for the free gift. You can also follow me on social media. My IG is @moneybags with a Z, Jazz. And my Facebook is Jasmine Drummond, the Money Coach. Also, I do free consultations and I do free family meetings. So if you are somebody who gets together, group of girlfriends, group of family members, group of business partners, and you guys talk about money on a consistent basis, invite a money coach to the group. I can give you some insight. Maybe it's some things you guys haven't tackled already. Maybe it's questions that you have. So I do group meetings as well for free. So please reach out to me. I would love to hear from you guys.
Awesome. Well, Jasmine, I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done, everything that you've explained. I know there's some value in this for everybody at home. So thank you once again for everything. Really, really appreciate you.
Yes, and thank you. I do not take lightly that you have given me the time and this platform. I'm so appreciative. I'm really so passionate about what I do. And even if I didn't get paid for it, I'd probably still do it, because I am just so passionate about our community doing better and being better. And we have to grow and empower each other and not be scared to give this information freely. The only way we're going to grow and win as a community is if we uplift each other. So I'm just so excited about constantly working with new people and meeting new people. So give me a call anytime. I'm so open. And that's my direct cell number too. So y'all for real have my number. So you can call me.
That'll work. Thank you again, Jasmine. I'll be talking with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the RNG Radio Show. Be sure to like and subscribe for more episodes and future content. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at danielumstead.com. Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires.